Joining us now on RTX is JR Manatad, radio producer for the Fan 590. Thanks for joining us, JR.
Thanks for having me.
And Daniel Reynolds, from editor-in-chief from Raptors HQ. Same to you, Daniel. You guys are both on here for the second time, so looking forward to talking. Okay, let's go, yo. Despite the loss last night, Norman Powell, he has been consistently proving himself. He had a career high of 43 points in the game. My question to you, JR, first is this the new norm? Huh?
I like how you twisted it. I think so. This might be the new norm. I mean, we've seen him struggle at the beginning of the season. His team struggled a lot. He was trying to search for his offensive game, and he kept pushing forward with trying to find his shot, find lanes where he can attack the rim. And he eventually found some consistency to his game. He found some confidence with his shot. And through that, I mean, he was able to bring up some double-digit points, being able to provide that to the Raptors offensive game when there's players in and out of the lineup, when Nick Nurse was trying to tinker with the lineup, especially when Norman Powell was in and out of the starting lineup. So we were able to see that from him. And, eventually he provided that spark that we needed and provided that offensive spark that we wanted, right, from him. And eventually, I mean, we saw him last night. He scored his first career high in points. I love making predictions, and hopefully maybe he can actually break Fred VanVleet's record of 54 points most scored by a Raptor this season, or maybe whenever he gets re-signed. You never know.
I mean, I'll say the same thing. I think it's amazing to consider how Norman has grown his game over the last few years and how he's become like that consistent scorer that the Raptors really needed. And given the situation they've been in now with the injuries and the sort of the lineup changes, he got off to that rough start, but he's found that rhythm that, I mean, we've been really hoping for this for years, that he would become that potent scorer, the guy that could attack in transition, get to the rim, hit the open three. And I think, I mean, obviously he's not the most important player on the Raptors. I think obviously many would say that Pascal Siakam, Kyle Lowry, they're the guys that really drive the team. But having him as that sort of release valve, like scorer that can really attack, really punish teams on the weak side, really go at them. No team can sort of hide on Norman Powell if he's your fourth or fifth starter. And since he was moved into the starting lineup, he's really made huge strides, which has been huge for the Raptors.
Absolutely. It's one thing to have a role player, to another to have a legitimate factor that's been consistently proving. And who doesn't like an extra option on their roster, especially, the playoffs are not too far away. I know that's a whole different conversation, but it definitely helps. Now, going into that, this past month, the Raptors weren't doing so hot as they were following league health and safety protocols. And keeping that in mind, it's one thing, but it's another to hear one of our very own players, Fred VanVleet, express that he himself was directly impacted by the virus, having symptoms. Daniel, I'm going to start with you on this one. How does Fred's experience with COVID-19 resonate with you?
Well, it really sort of highlights, to a certain extent, how scary this still is. I mean, I know we've heard a lot of talk lately of vaccines, and obviously, we're maybe hopefully seeing the light at the end of the tunnel here. But it's still very much, a serious issue. The virus is serious, it's real. And to hear someone like VanVleet, who, is a professional athlete, talking about this, even after, as he sort of voiced in his media appearance recently, even after sort of taking the necessary precautions and being part of, the league's health and safety protocols, just to sort of hear that, it can still catch up with you. And it was really hard to sort of, I wish him the best, and I hope he can get back to where he was, because it's no joke.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, it really reaffirms how serious this virus is. You could be a high-level athlete in the NBA or have a 9-to-5 job and working from home. Anyone can get this virus, right? I've been fortunate enough that my family's safe. I'm safe. I'm sure everyone else on this call is safe as well. But it just reaffirms how serious this virus is. And hopefully, I mean, we saw him struggle last night. We saw Pascal Siakam struggle last night as they finally got back on the court, and they're trying to get it into game shapes. And just like you said, again, in his conference, he talked about how it's going to be a process again of getting his body, his mind back into game shape. So we'll have to take some time, but hopefully that, progresses really quickly, because again, The playoffs are around the corner. We're trying to fight for a playoff spot, and the East is still wide open. So hopefully those two guys plus OG Anunoby, whenever he comes back, we get to full strength and we hopefully get another good playoff run.
It's funny when we see our players, breaking records, dropping 54 points in a game. It kind of has them on a superhero level almost, like, oh man, they're able to do all this on the court. It's different when you hear that they're directly impacted by this virus, and they are human, right? It brings it back to home that this virus is very much real, and we all have to stay safe consistently, right? And I mean, like I said, the Raptors have been doing a great job of following league health and safety protocols. So I'm sure have we on this call. Now, moving on, we got some March Madness to talk about. And in honor of it, I've dug up some old photos of our Raptors repping their universities in the big dance. That being said, whose alma mater do you think has the best chance this year? JR, I'm going to start with you.
I'm in the middle between Chris Boucher's Oregon Ducks and Kyle Lowry's Villanova Wildcats. I mean, I might be leaning towards Oregon Ducks. Both teams have like pretty much a decent matchup in the first round, but it'll be tough. They're both facing good defensive teams. Oregon Ducks versus VCU. It's pretty much up to the Oregon Ducks or Villanova Wildcats to pretty much come up with their offensive games, try to protect the ball against their opponents, and try to hopefully make a deep run in the tournament. With the Oregon Ducks, hopefully maybe it kind of looks like they have an easier path towards the Sweet 16, maybe even touch the Elite Eight. But yeah, I'm gonna lean with Chris Boucher's Oregon Ducks.
I'm going to take the very safe answer and go with Matt Thomas's Iowa team. I think they're the 2 seed. They're sort of in a decent bracket. I think they'd have to get past Boucher's Oregon team. But I'm gonna stay safe and take one of the top seeds and just be like, yeah, just avoid. I guess Gonzaga is the top team in the tournament this year, and so stay away from them as long as possible, and we'll see how far they can get.
JR, I'm with you, as Oregon Ducks is actually one of my personal favorite teams. Anyways, who doesn't love the colors? Let's just be honest there. Like, who doesn't love
it? Love it.
Sure. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'll catch you guys next time on RTX.